All right, guys. So if you've got your blocks or a pillow or a blanket, whatever works for you, we're going to lay down on our backs here and then place the block in between your shoulder blades. And then you can place the other block behind your head to get started. And this is our supine pose. So we'll just lay. So just put your arms to the side, relaxing your body, opening the palms to the sky. So today's class is focused on Satya. So in yoga, there are 8 principles. There's yamas and niyamas. So yamas are restraints. There's 4 of these. And last week we looked at ahimsa, which is nonviolence. And today is Satya, which is truthfulness. So as you lay here and just kind of lay into the pose, this fish pose, just think about, like, throughout class, being true to yourself, being truthful with all your poses, putting thought behind everything. And as you close your eyes, just focus on your breath. So inhale and exhale. And try to equal out the length of your breath. So if you're inhaling for 2, try and exhale to the count of 2. And this is a heart opener pose. So we'll do a lot of these throughout class to kind of open up the chest, which is one thing we focus on with truthfulness. And we'll take a few collective breaths together. So inhaling through the nose and exhale, release it all through your mouth. We'll do one more. Inhale through the nose and open your mouth, exhale. Then continue to breathe. In through the nose, out through the nose. And slowly removing the blocks. So removing the blocks from your head, lifting up the block or the pillow to remove it from your shoulder blades. And bringing your knees into your chest here. We'll rock and roll. You can move side to side. Warm up the spine. And when you're ready, you can take a rock and roll or take a few rock and rolls to come up to a tabletop position. So however you want to get there, take your time. And when you get to tabletop, making sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Your gaze should be forward at the top of your mat. Your knees should be underneath your hips. And from here, we'll take a few cat-cows. So on an inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze into our cow pose. And exhale, rounding the spine, looking towards the navel. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, rounding the spine like an angry cat. And take a few more of these at your own pace, linking the breath with the movement. So inhaling as you look up, exhaling as you round the spine. And you can also shift side to side if that feels good for you. You can take whichever movements here to kind of just warm up the body. And when you're done with that, coming back to a neutral spine, tucking the toes, and coming into your first downward dog. So here you can walk your dog, pedaling out the feet. Again, you can shift side to side, swaying the hips, or as they say, wagging the tail of the dog. And down dog's always a pose you can come back to throughout class. So continue to breathe here. And slowly walk your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. From here, keeping your feet hip width apart, you can grab onto either elbow, drop your head, and come into a ragdoll position. So you can feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings. You can sway side to side. Continue to breathe. And slowly release your hands to the mat. From here, we're going to take our peace fingers around our big toe and our thumb, around the big toe. And you can bend down here. We are coming into Padagustasana. So you can stay here, keep your legs straight. You can bend one knee, straighten the other, letting your head relax. And from here, releasing the fingers, placing your palms underneath your feet. So bringing your feet to the wrist crease of your hands and sliding your palms under. You can bend your knees here as we come into our gorilla pose. So you can bring your chest to your thighs. If it's available to you, if you're a little bit more flexible, you can straighten out your legs, whichever works for you to feel a nice stretch to warm up the body. Relax the head. And slowly releasing your hands, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Move your head last to come up. From here, bring your feet together at the top of the mat, opening your palms to face out. This is our Tadasana or mountain pose, so you can set your intention for class here. So whatever you want to get out of your practice today. And we're focusing on truthfulness, so focus on opening your heart and finding your truth within each pose. So first we'll begin with some sun A salutations. So on an inhale, bring your palms up to the sky, palms facing inward. On an exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. On an inhale, half lift, placing your hands on your shins, flat back. And on an exhale, stepping back to a high plank position. So taking a few breaths here in our high plank. You can also drop to the knees if you need to. Slowly dropping to the knees, exhaling down all the way to the mat. Bring your third eye to the mat. And here you can release your palms back behind you towards the sky. From here, we're going to move into a locust pose. So on an inhale, lifting up the chest, peeling the chest off the mat, lifting your arms, lifting your legs off the mat, reaching everything back. You can point your toes if you like. And exhale, release back down. On an inhale, we'll lift up again, lifting up your arms, your legs, lifting them all off the mat, lifting your chest as much as you can, keeping your gaze forward. And exhale, release. And one more time. Inhale, lifting your arms, your legs off the mat, everything reaching back behind you, lifting up your head. Exhale, release. From here, placing your forearms right under your shoulders. And on exhale, releasing up into our Sphinx pose. Your toes will be touching the mat. And just keeping a neutral gaze in front of you. And just breathe. You can twist over to the left, looking toward your left feet. And exhaling forward. Twisting over to the right side, looking towards your right toes. And bringing your gaze back forward. From here, you can press up into a tabletop or come straight to your downward facing dog. And again, walking your feet to meet the hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, folding forward, reaching for your toes. Inhale, root to rise, palms up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. So that was our modified Sun A. So we will move into another modified version. So on an inhale, reach your palms up to the sky. Exhale, folding forward, hinging at the hips, reaching to the ground. Inhale, look up, placing your hands on your shins, flat back. Exhale, stepping back to your high plank. On an inhale, shift forward, and on exhale, lowering your whole body to the ground. Untucking the toes. Releasing again your third eye to the mat. Again, we'll be moving to that Sphinx pose, so placing your forearms underneath your shoulders. On an inhale, lift up, feeling the chest open here. And on an exhale, coming back to your downward facing dog. You can come through tabletop or however you need to get there today. Walking your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up, look forward. Exhale, folding forward again. Inhale, palms up to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. Now we'll move into our traditional Sun A. On an inhale, reaching your palms up to the sky. Exhale, folding forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, look up, flat back, hands on your shins. Exhale, stepping back to your high plank. On an inhale, shift about an inch forward. On an exhale, chaturanga, bring your elbows to 90 degrees. On an inhale, upward facing dog. And on an exhale, downward facing dog. So that little section is our vinyasa. So if at any time you don't feel like doing that chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, you can always meet us in downward facing dog. Walking your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, hands on your shins, flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, palms up to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. And we'll do that one more time, a little bit faster, linking our breath to the movement. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, folding forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, coming down to your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, hands up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. On an inhale, bring your hands up to the sky, taking your left wrist in your right hand. On an inhale, lift up, and on an exhale, bending over to the right side to create a nice side body twist into a standing crescent. So this is sometimes referred to as a standing banana pose. On an inhale, bring your hands up to the sky. Now grabbing your right wrist with your left hand. On an exhale, twisting over to the left side. Feel that nice side body stretch. On an inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart and center. From here, we're going to move into our Sun B, modified Sun B. So on an inhale, sitting back to your invisible chair. So bring your arms up by your ears. Sitting back in your invisible chair, you should be able to see your toes beneath your knees, keeping your gaze towards your hands. On an exhale, bring your right arm open to the right side to airplane arms and a big capital T. On an inhale, bringing them back to center. Exhale, opening the left arm to the left side. Exhale, bring your left arm back to center. And maybe you can sit a little bit lower in your chair today. Be true to yourself. So wherever you are, challenge yourself. This is a great workout for your quads. On an exhale, straighten your legs, fold forward. On an inhale, lift up halfway, hands on your shins. Exhale, stepping back for your vinyasa or meeting us in down dog. So exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, stepping your right foot outside your right hand. You can walk it a little bit forward if you can. Drop the back left knee, untuck the toes. You can bring your right foot out. Your right foot should be on the edge of the mat. From here, you can stay here, hands underneath your shoulders, if that's enough for you. If you want a little bit of deeper stretch, coming down to your forearms. And this is our gecko pose. So this is a great hip opener. So this should feel really good for anyone that's a runner or that doesn't stretch their hips enough because we're sitting down so much. Continue to breathe here. If you are on your forearms, coming up with your hands underneath your shoulders. On an exhale, tucking the back toes, stepping back for your chaturanga, vinyasa, or coming straight to downward dog. So you should start to feel warm here. The purpose of Sun A's and Sun B's is to warm up the body. So on an inhale, lifting your left foot up to the sky. On an exhale, stepping your left foot outside your left hand. You can walk it out a little bit forward, placing your right knee on the ground, untucking your toes. You have the option here to stay on your hands, keep your hands underneath your shoulders, or coming down to a forearm, to your forearms for a deeper stretch in our gecko pose. If you're on your forearms, coming back, hands underneath your shoulders. On an exhale, tucking the back feet, stepping back for your vinyasa or meeting us in downward dog. Walking your feet to meet your hands to the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, hands on your shins, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, bring your arms by your ears, sitting back in your invisible chair. And on an exhale, straighten your legs, hands to heart and center. So we'll do another similar modification. So on an inhale, sitting back again in your invisible chair. From here, bring your hands to heart and center. We're gonna take your left elbow on your right knee and take a twist. So hooking your left elbow on your right knee and trying to keep your hands in that prayer position, but trying to bring them to the center of your heart. Unhooking your elbow, coming back to your chair pose, your arms out in front. Bring your hands again to heart and center, and now taking your right elbow on your left knee and taking a twist here. Coming back with your arms out in front for sitting back in your invisible chair. And again, perhaps you sit a little bit deeper into your chair, making sure you can still see your toes, keeping your gaze forward, arms engaged. And on exhale, straighten the legs, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, hands on your shins. Exhale, stepping back for your high plank into chaturanga for your vinyasa. So inhale, upward facing dog, and then exhale, coming back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, we'll lift the right leg to the sky in a free-legged dog. Exhale, placing your right foot between your hands, dropping your back knee, untucking the toes, and inhaling your arms up by your ears, lifting up the chest into our low lunge. On an exhale, cactus the arms and open the chest. Continuing to breathe. On an inhale, reach your arms up. On an exhale, open the arms and cactus them, opening the chest. Inhale, bring your arms back up to the sky. On an exhale, bring them back down by your feet, stepping back for another vinyasa or meeting us in your downward facing dog. On an inhale, lifting your left foot to the sky. Exhale, bring your left foot between your hands, dropping your back right foot, right knee, and tucking the toes. Inhaling your arms up as we come into a low lunge on the left side. Keeping your gaze forward. On an exhale, open the chest and cactus the arms. On an inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up. Bring them back down to the mat, stepping back for vinyasa. So exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release the head, fold forward. Inhale, sitting back in your invisible chair, bring your hands by your ears. Exhale, bring your hands back to heart and center. So on an inhale, sitting back in your invisible chair again, bringing those elbows by your ears. And take a few breaths here as we hold it. Exhale, straighten the legs, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, stepping back for your high plank, for your chaturanga and your vinyasa, or you can meet us in down dog. On an inhale, lifting your right leg to the sky. On an exhale, stepping your right foot between your hands. From here, we're going to drop the back foot to the mat. On an inhale, lifting up, hands up to the sky into warrior one. So always try to be strong in your warrior one, making sure your front leg is bent. Your back foot's at a 45-degree angle on the mat. Your legs should be straight. And your hips should be facing the top of the mat. On an exhale, planting the hands back down, stepping back for a vinyasa, or meeting us in downward facing dog. On an inhale, lifting the left leg to the sky. On an exhale, planting the left foot between the hands, dropping the back right foot, inhaling the arms up to the sky as you come into warrior one on the left side. So again, checking your form here. Bring your hands up by the ears, bending your front knee, your left knee. Your back right leg should be straight. Back foot should actually be at a 45-degree angle from the back of the mat. On an exhale, bring your hands back down the mat, stepping back for a vinyasa or meeting us in down dog. So you can catch your breath here. On an inhale, look towards your hands. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back, hands on your shins. Exhale, release the head, fold forward. Inhale, sitting back in your invisible chair. Exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. So that was a full sun B. From here, we'll take one more modification. So on an inhale, sitting back into your invisible chair. Exhale, straighten the legs, fold forward. Inhale, placing your hands on your shins, flat back. Exhale, stepping back for your vinyasa. Or you can meet in downward facing dog. On an inhale, lifting your right foot to the sky to three-legged dog. On an exhale, bringing your knee to your nose. Inhale, back to three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee to your left elbow. Inhale, back to three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, back to three-legged dog. And exhale, stepping your right foot between your hands, dropping your back foot, and opening up into warrior two. So making sure your hands are in that capital T position. Your front leg is bent. Your hips are open to the left side of your mat. Your gaze is forward, shooting over that middle finger. So you're a warrior in this pose, so make sure you stay engaged like a warrior. On an inhale, we're going to flip the right palm. And on exhale, bring it up to reach the sky. Placing your left hand on your upper left thigh. And your gaze can shift towards your hand here. On an exhale, bring your right elbow to your right knee. Swing your left arm in front of you to reach long, coming into extended side angle. So making sure you have one line from your left fingers all the way to your left toes. From here, coming back into warrior two. And straighten the front leg. You can shift your back foot in about 12 inches. On an inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bring your right hand to your right shin, lifting your left arm up to the sky to come into our triangle pose. So trying not to sink into your side, but you should feel a nice side body stretch too on the left side of your body here. You can opt to stay here, or if you'd like to come into half moon, we'll shift into that next, which is a balancing pose. So bending into your front leg. Oh, you can place your left hand on your hip, bending your front leg. You can place your hand about 12 inches in front of you, lifting your left leg up to the sky. And you can keep your hand on your hip here, flexing the toes towards the left side of the mat, and then opening up the hand to open the chest to the left side. So your shoulders should be stacked with your right hand on the floor, reaching all the way up for your left fingertips. On an exhale, stepping back, coming into warrior two. Bring your hands back down to the mat, cartwheeling them down, stepping back for a vinyasa. Or a meeting in downward facing dog. So on an inhale, lifting your left foot to the sky. On an exhale, bring your knee to nose. Inhale, left foot to the sky. Exhale, left elbow to your left elbow. Left knee to your left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping your left foot down between your hands, planting your back foot, opening up into warrior two, bending into that front knee. So this time, your front leg should be bent, your right leg should be towards the back straight, and your gaze should be over that middle finger. On an exhale, flipping the left palm to the sky, and exhaling up to the sky, placing your right hand on your right thigh. And again, you can look up towards your hands. And breathe here. Slowly bring your right forearm to your left left knee. So your right arm across in front of you to open up into extended side angle. So you've got one line from your right fingertips all the way to your right toes. And trying not to sink into your left forearm. So trying to lift your body still so you're not falling into one side. On exhale, coming back into warrior two. Gaze over that middle finger. Straightening your front leg, and you can opt to shift your right foot forward about 12 inches. And shift forward on an inhale, and exhale, bring your left hand to your left shin, reach your right arm to the sky. Your gaze can follow your right arm here to come into a triangle pose. And you can opt to stay here, or if you took the half moon pose on the right side, you'll want to do the same on the left. So bring your right hand to your right hip. You can lift up and place your left hand in about 12 inches in front of your left foot. Bend into your left knee, lift your right leg off the floor, and then you can opt to keep your right hand on your right hip or reach up. So your shoulders should be stacked here. Your foot's flexed to the right side of the mat, and your hips should be also open to the right side. And this is a great hip opener as well. And from here, stepping back into your warrior two, bending to that front knee. Cartwheeling the hands down on the mat and stepping back for a vinyasa, or meeting us in downward dog. And we'll take a few breaths here in downward dog. So if you need a little break, you can step in a child's pose too. So we'll be here for about 5 breaths. And if you're in child's pose, coming up to downward facing dog. On an inhale, lifting your right foot to the sky. On an exhale, stepping your right foot between your hands, dropping your back foot, and inhaling your arms up to the sky into warrior one. So your hips should be facing the front of the mat here in warrior one. Your elbows should be by your ears, and your palms should be facing inward. Keep your gaze forward. Interlacing the fingers behind the back. On an inhale, lifting the chest up, and on exhale, folding forward over your right thigh to humble your warrior. And lifting the chest up, you can again step the left foot in about 12 inches, straighten out the front leg. And on inhale, fold forward over your right shin, lifting your hands off your back to come into a pyramid pose. And bring your hands to heart and center. If you'd like to come into warrior three, you can do so here. If not, you can just stay in the pyramid pose. So bring your hands to heart and center, bending your front right knee, lifting your back foot off the mat. Your back toe should be facing the ground. You should be in one straight line from your head to your heels, parallel to the mat, toes pointed towards the ground into warrior three. And placing your foot back down, stepping back into a high lunge, inhaling your arms up. So you should be on the balls of your back feet. On an exhale, bring your hands back on the mat, stepping back for a vinyasa. On an inhale, lifting your left foot to the sky. On an exhale, stepping your left foot between your hands, dropping your back right foot to the mat, inhaling your arms up into warrior one on the right side, on left side. So again, making sure your elbows are by your ears, palms facing inward, gaze forward. Bending into that right knee, left knee. Interlacing your fingers behind you. On an inhale, lift up to open the chest. On an exhale, fold forward over your left knee to humble your warrior. Slowly lifting up, you can shift your right foot forward about 12 inches, straighten your front left leg, and exhale as you fold forward, keeping your fingers interlaced behind you over that front leg. And from here, you can bring your hands to heart and center. And we're going to shift into warrior three. So you can opt to stay there, or bending your left knee, lifting your right foot off the mat, coming into warrior three. So you should be in one line from your head to your heels, foot flexed towards the floor, hips facing down. They should be facing towards the top of the mat, hands to heart and center. Stepping back into your high lunge, inhaling your arms up. And on exhale, bring your hands back down the mat, stepping back for a vinyasa, or meeting us in downward facing dog. And from here, shifting forward to a high plank, you can place, we're gonna shift into a side plank from here. So placing your right arm, right hand underneath in the center of your body, underneath your chest, shifting over, lifting your left arm up to the sky to come in a side plank on the, facing the left side of the mat. And trying to keep your core engaged. So if you can't come into a high plank today, you can drop a side plank, you can drop your right knee to the ground. That works as well. But trying to keep your core engaged, no matter where you are. Bring your hands back down the mat, coming into a high plank, and we'll shift into a plank on the left arm, raising the right arm up to the sky. So again, you can drop to your left knee here, keeping your right leg long. Trying to keep your core engaged. The core is the center of your body. So if you can balance that, you can balance anything. On exhale, coming back to center, back into your high plank. And slowly releasing all the way down. Try and lower the body one step at a time. You can release your hands behind you. And from here, we're going to come into our bow pose. So from here, you can kick your legs towards your glutes. And you can inhale to lift the chest up off the mat and try to grab, if it's available to you, your ankles with your hands. Sometimes that's not available to all of us, not every day. So just holding your arms back, keeping your legs towards your glutes, and trying to lift your quads off the floor. Lift the gaze. And exhale, release down to the mat. Take a few breaths and we'll do that one more time. Lifting the chest up, reaching back, if it's available to you, grabbing your ankles and holding here, trying to lift the quads off the mat. Continue to breathe. And exhale, release everything down. From here, pushing yourself up and coming into a wide-legged child's pose. So bringing your knees to the width of your mat, leaning, bringing your chest forward. You can place your third eye to the mat. And just breathe. Coming back to a seated position, or bring your legs out in front of you here. We're gonna bring your left shin, like you're gonna sit. Bring your left foot towards your right thigh and folding your right foot over. So trying to sit on, bringing them on top of each other. So your shins are parallel. So your right shin's on top of your left shin into it. This is a double pigeon pose. So if this isn't available to you today, you can keep your right foot extended and bringing the sole of your left foot to your right thigh and lean forward, trying to reach your right toes. But if it is available to you and it's comfortable, bringing your shins on top of each other with your right shin on top, and you can reach forward no matter where you are. And we'll be here for about a minute. So make sure no matter where you are today, whether you have your legs extended, Just trying to breathe and fold over into this pose. And trying to keep your back flat here. Try not to round it too much. You can round it a little bit. But no matter what, you want to make sure that you're feeling the nice stretch. You want to make sure you're feeling the stretch in your hips and your thighs. So what I like to do is bring my fingertips forward and just breathe. So the nice thing is once we get down on the mat, it's pretty much nice from here. And no matter where you are, slowly walking your hands up, straightening the back. You can release the feet out in front of you and maybe give them a little bit of a shake. And we'll take the same pose on the left side. So bring your right foot forward, your right shin in front of you, stacking your left shin on top, or keeping your left foot extended, coming into double pigeon on the left side. So again, reaching forward on your fingertips here. And just breathe. And you should really feel the stretch. And sometimes one side might feel a little bit easier than the other, and that's fine. So whatever you might need to take a little bit of a different stretch on this side, that's totally okay. And slowly walking your fingertips back, straightening your back. Bring your feet out in front of you. You might want to give them a shake again. And from here, we're going to come into our boat position. So sitting back like you're in a V-sit position, so bring your shins parallel to the mat. You can hang on underneath your thighs if you like, keeping your gaze forward. Try not to arc your neck or your back. If you're feeling good here, you can release the hands. So this is our low boat. Exhaling, bring your right toes to touch the mat. Inhale them up, pointing their left toes to touch the mat, bringing them back up. Now take both toes to meet the mat and exhale them back up. On an exhale, we're going to come into the low boat. So bring your hands behind your head, reaching long, stretching out your legs, keeping your arms and your leg lifted, and on an exhale, coming back into low boat. And we'll do that one more time. So coming back into your low boat position, reaching long, arms and legs over the mat. And one more time back to your high boat. And releasing all the way back down, coming down to the mat. From here, hugging your knees to meet your chest. Placing your feet, reaching your hands towards your feet, placing your feet down on the mat. Trying to bring your heels as close to your hands as possible, about hip width apart. From here, we'll move into our bridge position. So on an inhale, lifting your hips up to the sky, you can interlace your fingers underneath your hips, trying to tuck your shoulders underneath to lift your glutes up to the sky. And hold it here. And breathe. And exhale, releasing your hands, bring your glutes to the mat. You can windshield wipe your legs, left to right. And again, bring your feet to hip width distance. We're gonna take that another time. So an inhale, lifting your glutes up to the sky, interlacing your fingers. Try and tuck your shoulders underneath, keeping your head on the floor. And exhale, release. So we can do that again one more time, but if you'd like to take a restorative bridge, which is if you have your pillow or your block, you can place these underneath your sacrum, which is just right above your booty. So you can place them there if you want to take a restorative bridge. Otherwise, if you just want to take a regular bridge, we'll just inhale and lift your glutes up to the sky, interlacing your fingers underneath. And exhale, release. Again, you can windshield wipe your legs side to side. And bring your knees to your chest. We'll take a spinal twist before we go into our final pose. So bring your knees over to the right side of your body, extending the arms to a capital T. Your gaze can go either the same direction or opposite direction, or you can cactus your arms. You just want to make sure here that your shoulders are on the mat. So again, if you need to use the block, this is the perfect time to do so. Or you can use the pillow. So breathe here. Bring your feet back to center, gaze towards center, hugging the knees in again. And we'll take a spinal twist to the left side. So bring your knees to the left. You could do the same thing with your gaze that you did earlier, whether you followed your knees or you didn't. Slowly returning your gaze to center. Bring your knees back into your chest. Whatever pose you need here today, take it, whether it's happy baby, putting the soles of your feet in your hands. If you want to, rock side to side, give your knees a hug, whatever you want to do before you come into our final pose of the evening, which is Shavasana. So when you're ready to come into Shavasana, extending your legs long, closing your eyes, opening your palms to the sky. And from here, just focusing back in on your breath. So continuing to focus. And just relax. And slowly starting to touch each finger, trying to feel that feeling back in your toes. You can give them a wiggle. And if you're ready, you can take a good morning wake up stretch. And using your right arm as a pillow, coming to a fetal position on the right side. And when you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, coming back to a seated position. Bring your hands to heart and center. I wanted to thank you guys for being part of my class today. And as always, in the space of silence, listen to your inner voice. And I wanted to leave you with a quote from Scott Stabile, which is when you're brave enough to live in your truth, the quirks, the insecurities, fears, and all, you carve out paths for others to do so as well. You inspire the same kind of freedom, the same commitment to a life without falseness, the same desire for something real. What a gift you give this world by being yourself. Thanks for joining me and namaste.